Well, hello. Welcome to the forecast for August 19th until the 25th. I am so curious to hear how this big Mars and Jupiter conjunction has been going for you, especially from last week's forecast where I outlined it quite a bit. But comment below. Let me know how you've been dealing with all of these active energies and intensity and chaos and volatility, and how has it been expressing? Have you been having more physical symptoms too, like headaches, dizziness, sore throat, getting sick, pain, inflammation, swelling? Let me know if you are physically manifesting a lot of these energies as well. Well, we still have that. We still have that coming into this next week. The Mars and Jupiter conjunction, I'll show you in a second, but it's going to be lessening over the next coming weeks. The next couple of weeks, it's going to get less and less and less. I think once we're outside of a 10-degree orb in terms of how far they are away from each other, we're going to feel it up until 10 degrees and it'll really soften afterwards. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And by the way, if you really like this content, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe and hit that bell so that you are notified every time a new video is up. This really helps send out the information to more people so that empaths out there everywhere can feel justified in what they're feeling and also get some really important tips on how to deal with all of these volatile erratic energies. Okay, I'm going to put this in big presentation mode. Okay, very good. Here we go. Let me just move a couple things and let's begin. So, I've been talking about this Mars here and Jupiter conjunction, and we've had it in Gemini. It peaked on August 14th, and they were both at 16 degrees, but now look, they're starting to separate. Mars is starting to separate. It is about 2 degrees apart this day. You'll see as we move on to the next day on Tuesday, it's 3 degrees apart. So it's gradually starting to separate, okay, as the days move on. But if you are still feeling irritability, if you are feeling, oh my goodness, just chaos, internal chaos, restlessness, having hard time sleeping, having a hard time mind shutting down as well, because Gemini represents the mind and our thinking, or just saying things without thinking as well. Those are all possibilities that can happen here with this Mars and Jupiter conjunction. Okay, so let's actually begin with the sun. We have Sun in Leo for just a little bit more, just for like a couple more days, and then it's going to transition into a Virgo. We're going to end up in a Virgo season. But this is our last bit of, being playful and having fun and being creative and expressive. You'll still get that in other ways throughout the week, but this is our last little bits of, just a lot of excitement and fun. My kids went back to school today, so it is not the 19th as I record this, it is the 14th, right on the epic, like, peak moment of this conjunction. Anyways, so we just have a little bit of Sun in Leo. We have our Mercury in Leo, and they're pretty close together. They're only a degree apart. So this is a really good time to interact and engage with our talents and our passions and activities that are just really fun for us. So your hobbies, this is a time to explore and navigate your hobbies, have great fun conversations, be around fun people. Make sure, I know a lot of us are going through a lot of things, but be with somebody that can make you laugh too. So don't forget that. This is a really good time to be around people who can, like, lift up your spirits, and vice versa, that you can lift up their spirits as well. Okay, now we do need to talk about this square that's happening, and it's a square between the Sun and Mercury. And by the way, the things that I'm talking about here for Monday, a lot of these are going to stick around for the whole week. So definitely listen to all of Monday, and then each day after that are like the little minor shifts that happen, especially with the moon, and the Sun does change into Virgo in the middle of the week. So okay, this one's going to be around a bit. So we've got the Sun and Mercury both in this red line, this red square to this planet up here at the top. It's Uranus. And this can bring a real need to just be free, to be independent, wanting to express yourself as well. Maybe like a change in appearance, because the sun can represent our ego and our identity. So maybe like all of a sudden you want to cut your hair or do a different hairstyle, just to give you an idea. Maybe you want to get a new piercing. I don't know, but there could be this need to like change up your appearance, your look, the way that you express yourself, how people see you, as Mercury is that planet of communication. Maybe you want to change your style of expression or in some way, shape, or form. Okay, whether it's physical, whether it's attitude, I'm not sure, but there may be a need to change from there. This could bring some anxiousness too. It also creates change. Uranus is a planet of change, and so there could be that feeling of like, ooh, there's an impending change right around the corner. I don't know what it is, but that could also create that restlessness as well. Now, we do have, this is a big day. Monday, August 19th is a big day because we have a full moon on this day. And this full moon is going to be in Aquarius. Do you see how the sun is on one side and the moon is on the other side? They're in opposition. And with this being in opposition, that means that's a full moon placement. When they're right next to each other, that's a new moon. But when they're opposing each other on a chart, that's indicating a full moon. So full moon in Aquarius. Moon likes to be in Aquarius. It's a pretty chill place. It's very intellectual. It's very, I feel like very like open and even and not necessarily biased. It is great for group interaction as well. It has a care for humanity. So it's a gentler place compared to some other signs. And the thing is, with this full moon here in Aquarius, Aquarius also means independence. It is also about evolution. It's about freedom. And so that's really the main theme for really the whole week, is that you're going to be freedom seeking. Nobody can put baby in the corner. That's the spirit of this week. And you do not want to be told what to do, how you should be. Like, you have your own ideas and you stand by your own ideas, and you're very expressive and vocal about it, and even, taking necessary actions too. So it's a time with full moon. Full moon is a release. New moon is like seed planting, whereas full moon is a release. So this is a release of letting go of things that are outdated. So, if you've been struggling to let go of a few things here and there in your life, this is going to really push you and carry that forward so that you can fully release and fully let go. So this, the way I like to talk about it is just be fully accepting of your weird. Okay, go all in on your weird. I'm going to be doing a podcast on that soon. But just go all in on your weird, because that's another thing about Aquarius. It's very eccentric. It's very rebellious. It's very its own thing. It's very unique. There's nothing like it. So it stands out. So being your cool, amazing, independent self, your weird, unique self, that's what this full moon is about, is fully embracing that and accepting that and celebrating that and living that. That's the theme of this beautiful full moon in Aquarius. So enjoy that. Someone had asked me in a comment before, like, what do we do around full moon with its restlessness? Some people have a hard time sleeping at night, and or just restless energy in general. You look to see where the moon is. This is my technique. This is my strategy. So I look at what is the sign in which the moon is in. And what is Aquarius? It's an air sign. So in an air sign, like some great examples, air is very quick, fast moving, right? So meditation or breath work or writing and journaling or typing, just things where you are actually like expressing yourself and getting it all out. Don't let it just kind of sit there and stew and just circle back around and around. Actually release it through writing or through typing or journaling of some kind. But breath work is amazing, and as well as meditation. So those are some activities that you can do that are specific to this moon, just to help ease that, intensity in general. Okay. All right. So there's that. Let's talk about some of the other aspects that are happening to the moon. Now, moon has a trine over to Mars, and as well as Okay, yep. The Mars one. That's the big one. Yes. So Moon has a trine over to Mars. And so that means Mars, this is a positive aspect. The blue lines with triangle, those are gifts and those are helpful. So it's going to really bring about the positive aspects of a planet. And when you look at Mars, Mars is great at giving us some drive and some passion and motivation too. And just like actually taking those steps that you've been wanting to take. So if you've been feeling sluggish in anything for any reason, I feel like it's kind of hard to be sluggish. But if for some reason at this time right now, but if for some reason like you're gonna get a nice like kickstart of energy, it's like revving up the engine because the moon represents our body and our emotions. So there's gonna be more excitement that's gonna be pumping through you to do the things that you need to do and do the things that you want to do as well. So that's going to be a really nice thing. This is about you. This week is so about what you want, what you need, what you have to say, and everyone's going to have to listen. So this is not a time where people are going to be very silent. I will definitely say that. Now, Moon is also in square to Uranus, so this could bring some like impulsive reactions, rapid mood changes as well. And then plus the moon is in an air sign, so there's a lot of activity there too. But you're not going to have as much patience. I will say that. Not a lot of patience here. I mean, our patience is already running thin just from the Mars and Jupiter. Well, I know it's past the conjunction now, but they're still pretty close together and influencing us in that way. Okay, there is a T square in this chart, and it's going to be here till Friday. So Monday through Friday, you're going to feel this, and it's significant. So do you see in here this like red triangle? There's actually multiple, but I'm going to point out, what's worth mentioning. It's going to be a T square to the exact degree. Okay, so it's kind of like a half of a full square, and then there's an opposition. So there's an opposition, and then there's two squares. And at the top of the triangle, that's the apex. That's where all this energy is like surging up to. And we have it at the 17-degree exact between, look at this, you've got Venus at 17 degrees of Virgo, and then you have 17 degrees of in Jupiter. I'm sorry, in Gemini. Jupiter's at 17 degrees. And then now you have Saturn over here, which is also 17 degrees. And this is in opposition. And then you have Saturn square Mars and Venus square Mars. So you could see this red triangle. So this is an intense arrangement here. And this is known as an achievement triangle. This is where you do get things done. Okay. Because look, the blues are awesome and they're great gifts, but we can get a little lazy with them because it's just so natural to us. It's in this pressure and in this tension where we're going to see a lot of activity and a lot of like breakthrough moments. And so the planets that we have involved include Venus, Mars, and Saturn. Okay, Venus, Mars, and Saturn. So if you think about just like Venus and Saturn, Venus is about pleasure and it's about fun and it's just pleasure seeking. It likes great food. It likes luxury, loves the arts. It's a playful planet and it loves people and connecting and just laughing and having a really good time, right? And then you have Saturn, which is our hard work, structure, and discipline. So right there, that already gives you a lot of information. They're in opposition. So you probably are going to have some inner turmoil and inner tension between like, hey, I want to play right now, but I really need to do this work right now at the same time, and struggling to like decide which one you should be focusing on. And then on top of that, I will say these squares, you see multiple squares, right? It really is going to both Mars and Jupiter, but exact degree it is at going straight to Jupiter. And Jupiter is a planet of growth and expansion. It is also about having faith and optimism. It's our beliefs. The fact that Jupiter in Gemini, which has to do with our thinking, this is what I see is us really clarifying what our beliefs are, what our ideals are, what our true goals are. And Mars cuts things out that's excess. And so we were probably, a lot of us are seeing this change within how we perceive the world, how we perceive reality. And so also even how we're perceiving like work and play, like how are we defining it and arranging that within our lives, and what do we need to cut out? Are there some pleasure things we need to cut out because we're going to an extreme and indulging? Is there some overwork that might needs to be cut out, like we're running ourselves to the ground and burning out? So a lot of this conversation is about, I feel like this triangle, this is a T-square, is understanding now like what is play, what is work for me, and how do I arrange this in my life? Like how much time do I give to this versus that? And finding that nice balance between the two. Because with oppositions, you got to honor both. It's not like one more than the other. It's a call for bringing in both, inviting in both, and having more or less, it's like a seesaw, right? An equal weight on both of these planets that they're commanding your attention here. So that's how this whole T-square situation is happening. Okay. All right. So, there's another one that I have mentioned in some previous forecasts, and I still feel that it's worth circling back and just reminding you that you're in a season of like becoming a new person. Okay. You're in a season of awakening. It's like a spiritual awakening, an awakening to yourself, and it's very drastic. It isn't like some little change. I'm just adding a little new thing into my life. No, like you're becoming a new invention of yourself. Well, it's a version that's always been there deep inside, but it's not dormant anymore. It's activated. It's alive. It's coming through, and it's really represented, excuse me, by this minor grand trine. And this has been around for a while. This is going to be around until November, this minor grand trine. And basically you have, it is between Neptune right here. Okay, this one. So here's Neptune at 29 degrees, and this is at the apex. And the planets that are the sextiles that are involved here include Pluto, all right? And then the other one is Uranus. So you can kind of see this triangle shape. We call it a minor grand trine, where you have a trine and two sextiles, and it is pointing all the way to Neptune. So Neptune is the apex of this thing. And blues are very supportive. They're very helpful. Look, Pluto is about transformation, okay? And then Uranus is about an evolution into the next version. It is an update. It is an upgrade. It is a better way of being. It's an evolution. And so between Pluto and Uranus, like in this great conversation in a trine, you have all of the support and strength and power to move through this evolution, where it's not, it is painful. It's going to be easier. It's going to be easier for you to move through it. And then you have this apex here with Neptune. Neptune represents our spirituality. It's our dreams. It's our vision. It's our creativity, our imagination. It's our ability to feel and sense the world around us. And so with all of this energy pointing to Neptune, that's what I'm saying. It's like a personal spiritual awakening, a revolution, like an inner revolution of some sorts. And then we have all of this activity with the moon in Aquarius, like this full moon in Aquarius. Like this is your breakout time. This is your breakout moment. Like who are you today? I know who you were 10 years ago. I know who you were 20 years ago. And that was good and fine. And it's great. It worked at that time. But today it's different. It doesn't work today. So who are you today? Because the world is changing. And I think you feel that. You feel how quickly it's moving. And so it is going to require us, each and every one of us, to step up to the plate here and interact with this changing landscape that we're stepping into. Look, one big changing landscape, I'm sure you've heard this like a million times in the past year, is this Pluto going into Aquarius. That's a whole new era. That's a whole new generation. So and you know what? There's all this positivity going between Pluto and Uranus and Pluto and Neptune. Thank goodness, thank goodness that Pluto is going to be supportive in a way that it's this transformation is going to be a bit more graceful and a bit more easeful rather than just so bloody painful. So that's really nice. Just for future reference, this does dip back into Capricorn and in September, October, November for just a little bit, for just a few months. It's its last hurrah in Capricorn of the old world we were a part of. And then in November, it goes back back into Aquarius, where it will stay for the next 20 years. So we are literally at the beginning, okay, literally at the beginning of a whole new era, of a whole new world. And so it's time that we get with the times. Okay, we get with the energies, essentially. Okay, so I talked enough about that. Let's go ahead and transition into Tuesday. So a lot of those energies that I talked about are going to be influencing, like that minor or the T squared goes until Friday, but that minor grand trine is going to go on until November. All right. So Tuesday, let's take a look at Tuesday. We still have our sun and our Mercury in Leo, but our moon has now shifted. That's gone through a major change, and moon is now in Pisces. And there's a natural affinity for moon in Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, and so we're experiencing depth of emotion here. We're experiencing a lot of sensitivity and compassion, which the moon is that way too. Inherently, it's very loving, nurturing, compassionate. It represents the mother. So there's some similarities of Pisces and similarities between Pisces and the moon. It is a bit more romantic and dreamy, okay? Likes to see what it wants to see, the rose-colored glasses syndrome. Yeah, anyways. So diving into more of the arts, like your moon is going to feel really good with being creative and maybe writing or making something. It's going to love water. So soothe yourself with water, like taking a bath would be nice. If you are near the ocean, I'm so jealous. I would totally take a dip in the ocean. That's in my opinion, one of the best ways to support a moon in Pisces. And your moon wants to be supported, okay? Because it's got a lot of action too. Okay, so, especially for the next couple of days. We do have moon next to Saturn. It's close. It's close. It's about 8 degrees apart. Okay, so anything within 10 degrees, usually like they're really going to impact each other. And Saturn is restrictive. It can create some feeling of isolation too and loneliness. So if you're feeling that on Tuesday, it's because of the Saturn situation. But then, what are ways to mitigate that? Like expose yourself to water, go take a bath. I think a float tank, a sensory deprivation tank would be really great if you're not feeling that well this day, or just go take a dip in the ocean if you have the ability to do so. I used to grow up by water, and now I am in the middle of the United States. This could cause some conflict and issues on the home front too, some like fighting and domestic issues, or just some arguments and disagreements as well. So that's the main change here. Everything else is pretty much the same as far as all the other planets, but the moon moving into Pisces is going to be a little bit more emotional, okay? A little more emotional. And the fact that we're next to Saturn, that can pose some challenges of feeling a little bit cut off and isolated and alone. And then we have Wednesday. We're going to move on to Wednesday. Our moon is still in Pisces, but look, it has moved up a bit so that now it's sandwiched between two planets. It is sandwiched in between Saturn and Neptune. So that can only exacerbate those feelings of isolation and loneliness and just feeling down. So if you're just feeling down and sad and depressed, it may be heightened here with Neptune being so close because Neptune dissolves boundaries. And so it's going to dissolve the boundaries of Saturn. And then we'll experience, whatever it touches, it also, you feel more intensely what it is next to. It will increase your empathy though, and compassion and care for others. This could make you really sleepy and tired. So if you feel extra tired on Wednesday, that is the reason why. Okay, so there's that. Just be aware of delusions. That's another caution. Again, Neptune is in retrograde, and Neptune is about delusions, illusions, secrets, lies. So fears, our personal fears and limiting beliefs can get more amplified here with Neptune next to the moon and Saturn. So again, as I was saying, how can I support myself if I am feeling this way? Neptune rules the oceans, right, and the seas. So that's why I'm saying if you can if you can go to the ocean, do that. If not, like a float tank, sensory deprivation tank, or bath with Epsom salt. If you don't have access to a float tank, take a bath with Epsom salt. That would be absolutely easy to do, very cost effective. You don't have to travel if you're not by the ocean. Okay, very good. So there's that. We have Moon also in opposition to Venus. So be careful not to overindulge in rich food and drink. Don't overspend as well, because with Neptune here, you might buy something that you think looks great right now, but later when this passes, you're going to be like, what was I thinking? That is so ugly and so not my style, right? So this is what I'm talking about, like the illusions and the delusions. It creates this rose-colored glasses effect, and we're not able to truly see accurately what is going on and what we actually like. So, okay, so there's that. And then we have Moon square Mars. Okay, so there's that. Mars is about conflict and struggle and difficulty and problems and obstacles too. Well, same with Saturn. So now we're kind of getting a double dose of this. So the moon has got it rough on this day. The moon does not have a lot of happy aspects. It is all tense. So take that Epsom salt bath, please, to soothe your moon, because you're going to be also irritable on top of everything, confused, irritable, moody, very emotional, lonely. I mean, you got a lot going on here. So, yeah, little annoyances. Be careful of sharp metal objects. This would be a day to also be cautious if you're working with tools or, knives in the kitchen. Like, take your time. The Mars will make you want to rush, but truly between Saturn and Mars aspecting the moon, I recommend just go slowly, chop slowly. Okay, chop slowly. I seriously want to make soap so bad, but because of just the energetic setup, I am not feeling confident that I'm going to be able to start making soap until next month. It's just this weird hobby that I'm really excited to start. Haven't started yet. I have all the supplies, but I haven't started yet. And I'm just waiting for all of this Mars craziness to pass so that I could do it in a way that I don't injure myself, because lie is dangerous. Okay. So then let's also talk about, Moon has one thing that's sextile to Uranus. That is one nice aspect. And it's just going to bring some excitement. You're going to want to do something a little bit different, little out of the box, little out of the ordinary. And so also it brings a lot of erratic energy too. So again, be careful with sharp tools. And let's talk about Mercury. Mercury is in sextile with Mars, so that's great. That's going to give a bit more confidence to your speech, to your expression, feeling a bit more brave as well. And your mind's going to be sharp, like really quick and sharp too. That's nice. And then we have Venus in trine with Uranus. So this is another influence. You have Mars in sextile to Uranus, and you have Venus in trine to Uranus. So Uranus always calls for something different. It's something out of your usual routine. And so this may be a good time to meet with a friend you haven't met in a long time, for example. An unexpected encounter might happen with somebody, with a relationship of some kind. So, yeah, go meet somebody. That would be good. That you haven't seen in a long time. This just kind of breaks up your usual social patterns. All right. And seeking entertainment. Yeah, that'll be another way that it may express is desiring to do something fun, something entertainment oriented. Maybe go see a comedy show. That would be, if you don't do that regularly, that would be a really fun way to work with these energies and work with this transit. Cool. So that's Wednesday. Let's move on to Thursday. So Thursday, August 22nd, we still have our Sun and Mercury in Leo. One big change is Moon. Moon has now transitioned from Pisces and now it went into Aries, which is a fire sign. It's the first sign in the zodiac. So it is very active, very youthful. It's very fiery, or as my Gen Z son would say, it's zesty. So it's a spicy sign. And so your moon, which is your emotions, which is your physical body, it's going to want to do something fun, something exciting and passionate. It's a bit high strung here. So it's very active. It's bold. It's courageous. It doesn't doubt. I mean, it's sparkly too. Just like I talk about the moon being sparkly in Sagittarius, which is another fire sign. But here it's also very sparkly. It's very charming, short attention span. Don't have a lot of patience, might be wanting to do one thing 1 second and another thing another second. That's fine. That's normal. It's going to happen. But overall, pretty like positive and optimistic and very determined too. Like it likes to do what it likes to do. It's super independent. So between like, Aquarius that we had back in earlier in the week, Aquarius moon, and then this moon in Aries, you need your freedom. You can't be like following along something that you don't want to follow along. You got to do things your way. It's a very pioneering energy here. So it's got to be your way or the highway, essentially, is probably going to be your attitude and your sentiment. Yeah, so that's the big one. So that's Thursday. That's going to be our main change. What is that? I'm sorry. I don't know why that popped up. Friday. So Friday, here's the 23rd. And on this day, we have a very strong moon. So Aries moon is still in Aries. But look at all the blue lines. Yeah, we've got Pluto in square to the moon. That's one red line. But look at all the blue lines that are coming over to the moon. It's quite a bit. Actually, we even have, oh, look at that. I totally missed this earlier. There is a minor grand trine. We have a trine between Mercury and Moon, which is wonderful for being able to express what we feel and actually communicate in the right words and it being well received, what it is that we're going through. So if you are really excited about something or into something, you're going to be able to talk about that and share that and really captivate too. That's the thing with Aries energy. It's super captivating. It has great social skills. And then all of that, right? That expression of your feelings and expression of just yourself and who you are and being able to eloquently say what you mean and what you think and what you feel, that is all pointing up to Mars here, which is your drive and ambitions. And Mars rules Aries. So in terms of following your passions, this is the season. This is the time to follow your passions. There is not resistance. Another thing too, we have sun and moon that's in a nice trine. And when sun and moon is a nice trine, you're going to have less resistance, better flow. It's flowing Friday, freedom flowing Friday. Okay. So this is a really great day to just make it your own. You don't need permission from anyone to do whatever you desire. You're going to have access to great power, courage, strength, drive, ambition, willpower. Like all of this is going to be on your side. And people are going to feel it. They're going to see it, experience it through you. Like I said, the only one thing that is possibly difficult is the Pluto that is square the moon, and this can create some compulsive behavior. But look, if you are honest with yourself, right, and honest with your desires and your passions and feelings and all of that, this is not going to be a big deal. Look, you have to look at the big picture. If the moon did not have all of these beautiful blue aspects to them, and it was just by itself Pluto and moon, that makes it more rough. But because we have so many positive aspects to the moon, and which is going to keep you in honest, like being honest with yourself and honest with your feelings and expressing that, it's going to, because you are going to do that from all of those aspects, I'm not worried about any compulsive behaviors or self-sabotage that could come from Pluto. I think its influence is going to be negligible because your moon is very strong, and moon's in Aries. So I'm, again, not concerned about that. So that gives you kind of an idea. You got to look at the whole picture, not just one little component. All right. So another major event for Friday, big day Friday, okay, freedom flowing Friday, the sun moves into Virgo. So now we officially, on August 23rd, officially move into Virgo season. And I know this energy all too well. This likes to do. It's a hardworking sign. It's one of the harder working signs. I mean, yes, Capricorn too. But it likes to perfect, it likes to improve, it will nitpick at all the flaws and find what's wrong to make it better. Of course, it's with the good intention. So rearranging, improving yourself. It also has to do with nutrition and health. So there may be like a renewed interest in taking care of your body, in feeding yourself good food, nourishing foods, wanting a bit more organization in your life, wanting to get rid of some of that clutter as well. And you have this, like I said, a great communication between the sun and the moon, that you're going to feel ease into this. You're not going to feel resistance. It's not going to feel like a drag to take care of yourself. You're going to have all of this excitement and energy and drive, and you just want to do it. You just want to do it. There's some days where I really don't want to work out, and there are some days I'm like, I can't wait to get my weights going. Like I love it. So yeah, so I love the ease here. The sun's got some good aspects here. Let me see one other thing. It is aspected here to Uranus, the sun. It does have a square to Uranus. And with that, this is where you want more freedom and excitement. So there could be potentially pissing people off. There could be some of that going on, but that's okay. I think it's fine overall. There's so many positive trines and sextiles in the day or in this week in general. So yeah, okay, some people might get offended, some people might not like it, some people might not, be happy with the shifts and the changes, but that's tough cookies. Like that's not something that's going to stop you. That's not going to stop you, because you are on a journey and you are on your path, and you have all of the necessary tools, equipment, everything to do so. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, so let's go into Saturday. Saturday, our moon makes another move. It moves into Taurus, which means it's ingressing into Taurus. And this is the exalted sign of Taurus. Of moon. I will say this week feels overall a significant improvement from last week. Significant improvement. I mean, yeah, we still have all this intensity. That hasn't completely gone yet. We're about, what are we? We are 25 degrees apart. So it's still there. But all of the other placements of the planets and their conversations are better. It's just better. It's so much better. So moon here in Taurus, it calms the moon. It steadies the moon. It strengthens the moon. It's the earth sign. It nurtures, it nourishes. It's also just takes its time. Taurus cannot be rushed. Taurus is on its own time schedule, on its own pace, and it really likes to be thorough and methodical and doesn't like jump to an opinion or a conclusion right away. It goes through everything. And then you have, the sun in Virgo, which loves sifting through the details. I mean, it's got to go through every bit of detail before it spits out its final conclusion. So you have both the moon and the sun in an earth sign. And yeah, they're also trining each other. So that's a really nice conversation. There is ease, there is balance, there is harmony between our thoughts and our feelings. So our moon is super happy. It's enjoying its comfy couch with its delicious drink, right? And its charcuterie board and watching a great movie. And so it's in its happy place. So which I think we all deserve right now after what we've been through. Okay, so let's see. Let's continue on to Sunday. So just go have some fun on Saturday. That's the big message. Go have some fun on Saturday. Sunday, on the 25th, we have a couple of difficult aspects to the moon. We do have moon square Mercury. So this is a critical time for communication. Especially with just our closer intimate relationships. So if there's something that needs to be talked about, it's going to come and surface on this day. But we do need to be careful that our feelings are not overwhelming like our intellect. It's clouding our rational thought as well. So that would be one word of caution. Since moon is in Taurus, one of the things you could do is go outside and ground and put bare feet on grass or stone or sand or something like that, dirt. That could be one way to help mitigate that and soften that aspect. Now we have moon in trine with Venus. So that is a positive communication between our feeling and how we feel about our loved ones and our friends. And also you're going to want to have some fun and play too. So this is a great weekend to just play and enjoy yourself since Venus represents pleasure and our hobbies and just enjoyment. And so there's gonna be a lot of pleasant feelings in the air from that. And moon, although your moon trine, moon is conjunct Uranus, those are together. Uranus likes the different, likes exciting, likes something out of the ordinary. So that might be something to include in your day is try something new. I have this thing that I implement every week. Like I have to do something new every week. I wonder if it coincides with this now that I think about it. But I love like either exploring a new store or a hike or a restaurant or a neighborhood or just something new that I've never seen in my life in my city, and or maybe I try like making a new dish or work with a new spice. So it's nothing major. It's just one new thing of any kind. That is my personal rule, and that has made life just a bit more exciting and adds something. It shakes things up and it makes me feel alive, and that's the beauty of something like this right here. Maybe it's a new food because Taurus is very representative of decadent foods. Maybe it's a new dessert that you haven't tried before. Give you an idea, just a quick way to work with these energies here. Okay. All right, there we go. And we have, let's see, moon trining Pluto as well. So there's this Pluto. Oh, we have a whole trine right here. Okay, so moon trine Pluto is a grand trine. With the moon trining Pluto, this is going to help give us access to the depths of what we're going through. Overall, I've said we're all going through major transitions and evolutions and reinventions of ourselves. And so with this conversation, it gives us access into the deeper feelings and the hidden meanings and just more self-awareness. That's what I love about this, is a lot of self-awareness that's present here. Okay, so that is it. That is our forecast for the week. Hopefully I'm under 50 minutes compared to last week. This is definitely a nicer week that we get to enjoy relative to what we have been going through. But, just keep in mind that intensity of Mars and Jupiter is going to be around for just a little bit. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe and share this message with anyone you feel will benefit from it, and hit that bell so that you're notified every time a new video is up. And since we are still in Mercury retrograde season, Mercury retrograde goes until August 27th. I have been sharing a blend that you may use just to help soften any miscommunication, misunderstanding, mishaps, frustration from things breaking down like electronics, frustration with travel plans getting disrupted or interrupted, even like local travel, just things not working out, schedules not working out, things of that nature will be surfacing quite a bit. So you may use lavender, bergamot, and Roman chamomile and just do 2 drops each in a diffuser, and that will support us throughout this Mercury retrograde season till August 27th. Thank you so much, and please share with me below, like, what are you looking forward to for this week? What are your plans this weekend that includes a little bit of fun and excitement and enjoyment? And how is your life going when it comes to pleasure and work? How is that dynamic? Do you have a good, ratio present in your life? I'm very curious about those things. Okay, love you all, and we will see you in the next forecast.